Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Dylan from ROTOSZN.com, and we finally have some football to talk about. The NFL is back. We have the Hall of Fame game between the Cowboys and the Steelers. I'm going to be taking a look at this slate on Draftkings, going player by player, talking about guys I like, guys I don't like, and giving my overall opinion on the slate. I'm also going to take a look at some beat writers for the Steelers and the Cowboys to see what information we have so far as to who's going to start, who's going to play the most time, and who's going to get the most opportunity overall, because that's a big part of gaining an edge in these games, especially the Hall of Fame game. It's just figuring out who is going to get the most opportunity, who's going to play the most minutes or the most plays, whatever. Because obviously we're not going to see guys like Prescott and Roethlisberger and any of the big starters play. So we're going to go over the slate, try to get the biggest edge we can, and see if we can't make some money this Thursday. Real quick before we get into that, I do want to ask that you like the video. That really does help me out with YouTube rankings. And drop a subscription if you want to stick around and join the community. We're going to have a ton of NFL content coming out this season. We're going to have videos for every Sunday main slate and every primetime Showdown slate. So Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, and Thursday Night Football. And then we're also going to have Prize Picks props videos for all of those slates as well. So tons and tons of NFL content coming throughout the season, starting with the Hall of Fame game. So why not subscribe to the channel, join the community so you don't miss out on that content. And then finally, I do also want to plug ROTOSZN.com. If you are looking for more in-depth content to help you out throughout the NFL season, ROTOSZN Premium, you can get access to my Cash Core cheat sheet for every Sunday main slate and Showdown primetime slate. You'll get access to my tournament plays, my value plays, a whole bunch of NFL content. And it'll also include NBA, the upcoming NBA season coming up starting in October, I believe. And there's a preseason discount going on right now. You can get 30% off every package. So you can try it out for $4.89. That's a pretty good deal in my opinion. So if you do want to try that out, give it a shot. ROTOSZN.com/premium. I do genuinely appreciate every single person who decides to give that a shot. But getting into the slate, over-under in this game is setting at 33 points right now. Obviously, preseason games, especially Hall of Fame games, are generally lower scoring, which is why I want to start off first talking about the defenses. Because these are the biggest. If you're playing cash, I think you have to have the defenses for sure. And they're also captain viable because, what is that at? Hall of Fame game results. So let's just look at Hall of Fame game history. Obviously, there was no game in 2020 because of COVID. But in 2019, the final score is 14-10. The year before that, 17-16. 2018, 14-3, 13-7. Like, these are very low. The Hall of Fame game is traditionally very low scoring game, which, like, it goes both ways, right? So if it's week 7 and you're Tom Brady's in a game and the over-under is set at 56, obviously you want to target Tom Brady because there's going to be a lot of opportunity for him to put up fantasy points and have a big game. But it goes both ways. When games are going to be low scoring like this, that takes away opportunity from all those skill positions that you would usually want to put at your captain spot, and it boosts the defenses up because defenses get more points for the less amount of points that they allow in the real game. So that makes, in games like this, defenses are very, very viable and even viable at the captain spot. So I just want to start with that. Cowboys, Steelers defenses, both very viable in this game. You can put them at captain. I think you have to have them both in your cash game. But of course you can get a little riskier in tournaments, but I do think they're very good plays off the rip. But getting into the positional players, over on the Dallas side, starting at quarterback, Prescott isn't going to play. Cooper Rush is the 4th guy on the roster, so I'm not going to be looking at him too much. And then we have Gilbert and DiNucci. I seen a tweet from the Cowboys beat writer. So right now, this is an unofficial depth chart. Has Prescott, Garrett Gilbert, Ben DiNucci, and then Cooper Rush. So I'm saying Garrett Gilbert's probably going to start. That's not official yet. But Ben DiNucci and Garrett Gilbert are going to be the 2 quarterbacks that we see the most of throughout this game. So I think they're both viable. And, just keep an eye on news to see who starts. see if we get um, any tell on who's gonna be playing more time, and then I would just go with that guy. But Cooper Rush, the fourth guy, I can't see him playing more than half a quarter to maybe a quarter at the end of the game. I'm not really interested in him. Moving on to running back, Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard shouldn't really play. I know Zeke shouldn't. I doubt Tony Pollard will either, because they're really trying to start using him more and go like a split back apparently. So he's pretty much a starter, just like Zeke. Don't expect him to play in this game. And then in my notes, so that leaves Dowdle and Hardy. Those are going to be the two backs we see the most of. I haven't yet seen anything on who's expected to get more run in this game, but if that comes out, that can help you out a lot. But yeah, Dowdle and Hardy are going to be the two backs that we see the most of. I'm not really interested in Knox because he's the fourth guy. Obviously Cooper, Lamb, Gallup, don't expect to see them at all. If we see any of them, it's going to be from maybe the first drive. So even then, not really interested. You would have to be counting on like a first drive touchdown for them to pay off. So not really interested in them. But then when you get down here, Wilson, Brown, and Simi are the three I'm looking at. Simi Fako, I don't actually know, Foco, however you want to say it. He's been the guy that's been talked about in camp a lot. He's making good plays. So I have interest in him. And then Noah Brown and Cedric Wilson. Those are the three receivers I would expect we see the most of. The three that get the most opportunity in this game. So that's who I'll be sticking with. On the Cowboys side at tight end, I have absolutely no interest just because they have so many guys. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start as to who's going to be playing. Maybe if we get a clearer tell on who's going to be playing, getting closer to the game, you can take shots on one of these guys. But right now, they just have so many guys, and there hasn't been anything said about who's going to play in this Hall of Fame game. So I'm not interested in any of them. I've already talked about the defense, and then right now, Greg Zuerlein is the only kicker on the Cowboys for the Draftkings slate, and he's out. So I would assume they're going to have another kicker play still, but he's not available on the Draftkings slate, so we don't even have to worry about the Cowboys kicker. And then moving over to the Pittsburgh side, so Ben Roethlisberger is obviously not going to play. Then we have Rudolph, Haskins, and Dobbs. And I seen something by the Steelers beat reporter earlier. So here it is. Mason Rudolph will start and play into the second quarter. Dwayne Haskins will play into the late third. And then Josh Dobbs will finish the game out. So it's kind of mixed. I expect Dwayne Haskins is going to play the most because he's been the guy that's been flashing the most potential in camp. He has overtaken a lot of Rudolph's reps already. So I think you can play both Rudolph and Haskins because I think they're both going to get enough run to pay off in a game like this. But my favorite is definitely Haskins. And then Josh Dobbs is going to get maybe the fourth quarter plus a few minutes in the late third. I do still think Dobbs is viable in like a deep tournament shot because he does have rushing upside. But if I had to select one of these guys to go with, if you're only going to roster one QB, it's definitely Dwayne Haskins. I do expect him to see the most time. And I think he's just the most talented quarterback of the three anyway. So definitely Haskins is my favorite. Moving on to running back, Najee Harris is going to play. Where was that tweet at? Mike Tomlin says that Najee Harris will play in all 4 preseason games. How much he will play is yet to be determined. So that leaves us in a tough spot because, generally in a game like this, you wouldn't see starters play at all. But because Harris is a rookie, he is going to play in all 4 preseason games. But we don't know how much. So that makes it super risky to roster him because he could be treated just like any other starter where he plays the first drive and then he's done for the game. Or he could play a quarter like Haskins is. So hopefully we get some more information on how much he's going to play in this game. because that would help us out a lot. But if not, I would be it would be a tournament shot only for Harris if we don't get any more information, because I just really don't expect that we'll see more than 2 drives maximum. Um, but after that, Benny Snell, I wouldn't expect he plays either. There hasn't been any news on that yet, I don't believe. So he missed a practice. So I don't know. I don't expect Benny Snell to play. That's not confirmed yet, so just keep an eye on news. Follow these beat writers on Twitter, man. That's going to help you out more than anything in the preseason. But the main focus of running back is definitely Anthony McFarland Jr. and Jalen Samuels. These are the 2 guys that should get the most opportunity throughout this game, so I think they're both viable. And then Keelan Ballage, Trey Edmonds. I don't expect they'll get a lot of run. Now, Derek Watt is a guy that I wanted to talk about because I think he's a sneaky, very risky deep tournament shot. Now, if I can find... So, I can't find the exact tweet, but they have been using Derek Watt and a lot of like fullback routes, increased reps. Yeah, I'm trying to find the exact tweet that I seen, but they've been using Derek Watt in a lot of different ways. They've been passing him the ball in camp, and I mean, he should play since he's a fullback. He should play this game, and if they want to keep practicing, seeing what they can utilize with him, I would expect he can be a sneaky play if he can get a few catches. I mean, if you get 5 fantasy points in this game, you're looking pretty good. Like, you're happy with that because these aren't going to be high scoring games. And he's been getting higher reps in practice. They've been passing him the ball. They've been trying to get him involved in the passing game on fullback routes. So I think he's a sneaky shot. I think he's a sneaky tournament shot because if he can get a few catches, however many yards, like he can get the job done and get you there. And might even have some upside. His ownership's going to be super low. So I don't know. I just figured I'd mention that as a deep, deep tournament shot. It's risky. He could absolutely do nothing. He might not even play. We'll see. Hopefully we get information on that before. But yeah, I just wanted to mention him. Moving on to wide receiver, Juju Smith-Schuster, Claypool, Johnson, and James Washington. I don't expect to see any of those. Any 4 of those play this game. If they do, like I said, it's going to be like 1 drive, 2 drives. So not much. Even if they do play 2 drives, I'm not planning on rostering them. And then, let me check. I had some wide receivers wrote down in my notes. So, McFarland, definitely my favorite wide receiver of the Steelers. Just because, obviously, he's a wide receiver, he can catch the ball. But last season, they also got him involved in some end arounds, handing the ball off. He does punt returns, so he has that 1 in a million upside there. I just think you don't find these deep wide receivers in preseason that get as much opportunity as McLeod could end up getting. And so that's why he's my favorite wide receiver on the Steelers. And then Boosie and McCoy are going to be the other 2 that I'm looking at. I think McLeod, Rico Boosie, and Isaiah McCoy, I think those are going to be the 3 guys that just get the most upside or the most opportunity in this game at wide receiver. Eric Ebron shouldn't play. Pat Freiermuth, he's a rookie, but he was just dealing. I seen somewhere that he was dealing with an injury. Where is that at? Pat Freiermuth, he landed on his left shoulder, and his day is done. So I wouldn't expect to see Ebron or Freiermuth in this game. So Zach Gentry, it's a risky play, but out of tight ends in this game, he's probably going to have the most opportunity for both sides. You know, it's risky, but I think he's the most viable tight end on the slate. So if you want to go there, you can. I'll probably have a little bit of exposure to him, but I'm not going to go overboard or go crazy with him. And then kicker, there's 2 kickers we don't know yet. Just like defenses, I think kickers, if you know a kicker is just going to play the whole game, I think just like the defenses, special teams, they're very viable on a slate like this. But we don't know that yet. Like I said, the Dallas side, they don't even have an active kicker on the Draftkings slate. And then there's 2 kickers for Pittsburgh. We don't know who's. I mean, Boswell might not even play at all since it's preseason. He might play half a game. We don't know. But if we do figure out if one of these guys is just going to play the whole game, yeah, they're certainly viable. just because the nature of a Hall of Fame game. And then obviously I already talked about the defenses. Very viable, captain viable. And that pretty much wraps up the slate, guys. Should have a Prize Picks props video coming out for this slate as well, probably tomorrow, because the props haven't been posted yet on Prize Picks. But yeah, that'll do it. Best of luck in your games. Like I said, if you do want to check out ROTOSZN Premium, it's on sale. Every package is 30% off for the preseason. I do genuinely appreciate everybody who checks that out. Best of luck in your contest Thursday, and I'll see you for preseason week 1.